Hi guys, I'm Element.
And I'm Choco, and together we are the DYAD in the Force.
Big news coming out of Ubisoft Forward. Everyone's got their conferences going on, and we got some huge Star Wars news, not just an announcement, but a full-on gameplay breakdown. And we're going to cover everything that they covered in it right now. Choco, Star Wars Outlaws.
Well, not a surprise. I may or may not have had some inside information on it, knowing something was coming, but I'm excited because, we are getting that open world game. It's something I've been waiting for a while, where we actually have a progression system that is based off of your reputation. And since this main character Kay is not a Jedi or Sith, not Force sensitive, we actually get to play around with their moral choices and see how they affect their progression through the different factions that are going to be here in the galaxy. Those factions have me really excited because very first mission we see them stealing from the Pikes, and who knows, I'm sure we'll get Black Sun in there and a bunch of other syndicates based off of your reputation, which each one of them, you are going to gain access to different abilities, modules. So it's cool because your decisions might lock you out of some things and might get you into other things.
Kay Vess, played by Umberly Gonzalez, is our thief smuggler, as we see in this gameplay here. As Choco was talking about stealing from the Pikes, we see some companion gameplay from Nyx, our Mercall, who's a rare and exotic creature that is new to Star Wars canon, and she's on the planet Toshara. This is interesting. This game comes from actually the developers of Division, Massive Entertainment. I was a big fan of Division and Division 2. The mechanics are solid. The open worldedness is solid. We do have to stress that this game does not look like a sandbox, and so there is a distinction between a sandbox and an open world game. We are playing Kay Vess. We don't get our own character. We do get to see her go from a cantina. We see this wanted system flash on the screen. We're assuming that the more you get on the nerves of the Empire, the more they're going to throw at you.
Yeah, I'm assuming that at some point Vader's going to come down and kick your ass.
I mean, listen, if it has any similarities to the GTA system with the star system, and you get like 5 stars, like Vader just comes down on his TIE Advance, just like in Rebels, that would be pretty sick. That's a good use of a cameo right there. I don't mind. Listen, I know half of you guys. I know you're going to open the game and immediately start trashing Imperial property. So if that does happen every time, that would be awesome. But we do use this moment to see, well, let's backtrack a little bit because we do have some mechanics and systems from the job from the Pikes, and she's on this speeder, and it looks like she has like a VAT system as well. Choco touched on the modules of the blaster, that we're going to see some blaster upgrades and some very different modes that you might be able to unlock according to reputation. But this looks like you have 5 action points, and you can spend them on whoever you're targeting, and I guess you can target whatever part of them that you're targeting. That should take care of the action for you. So there's a lot of like interesting different choices in this game, it looks like, and choice seems to be, or agency seems to be, the number one thing that I'm getting from this game.
Yeah, one of the things that the dev said was that there are no wrong choices, right? So you get to do whatever you want. So if someone is trying to, in this, we see the Imperial basically stealing from her, and she pulls a blaster on them. That's a choice that you can make, or you can choose to bribe them or whatever. And I want to see what the limits of that type of system is. Like if you run a heist, can you just decide that you're not going to give it to them and sell it off to a better buyer? Will that help your reputation with that other buyer? Will that kill your reputation with the others? Will they even find out? There's a lot of stuff that this could be really cool. Yeah, we just kind of have to wait and see, watch it through its development cycle and see what it does.
Absolutely. Big things coming from Outlaws, especially with the reputation. We touched on that a little bit. We mentioned reputation earlier. What are some of the things you think might come out of that on top of, what we mentioned with unlocking opportunities, unlocking different blaster modes? Do you think that the story, the Golden Path might change? There's this whole story or narrative thread that closes off to you because you screwed up.
We'll have to wait and see, but the timing that this is coming out is in between The Empire Strikes Back and Return Return of the Jedi. And what do we know is happening around this time? We have War for the Bounty Hunters, which leads into what? Crimson Reign.
Yeah.
And at the end of Crimson Reign, the Empire comes and cracks down on everybody. So it's possible that the Golden Path is whichever faction you're in with at the end gets screwed over and you end up joining the rebellion. So you actually do end up with the same narrative story while taking wildly different paths and being a wildly different person. There's a lot of possibilities, right? And also when we got into the space travel, it seemed like, the first thing that they said was that space was scary.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that we get into maybe piracy that's going on there. I want to see if we have bounty hunting going on. Mechanics of how it kind of lazily shot down a couple ships didn't seem the most compelling. They promised us some epic dogfights as well as some large scale battles. So yeah, we'll have to see what it does.
Yeah, if we take a look at this gameplay right here, we can see that she's leaving Janta's Hope because she is wanted, as we mentioned earlier. It looks to be semi-seamless transition into the spacefaring bit of this open worldedness. That's not the spotlight that they wanted to draw to that certain scene. I think they just wanted to draw that you could leave the planet and then go into hyperspace and then arrive at another planet. What you mentioned just now it's an exciting prospect because you kind of think about being a smuggler or a thief, and not to throw out names like Hondo or anything, but you think about going on a mission to smuggle for some syndicates, and you think you might be boarded. Mm-hmm. There might be an arrestor class cruiser from the Empire that's onto you. So there's a couple of obstacles there that can be presented in space. You might make a jump,
and then there's an interdictor cruiser that's somewhere along your path. That'd be dope.
Oh man, pulls you straight out of hyperspace. That would be crazy. But yeah, just like Choco said, there's a lot still left off of the table for us to discuss, and we'll only have to wait until more details are released by Ubisoft and Massive for more details on Star Wars Outlaws. But what's your first impressions, Choco? For me, I think the game looks good. The open worldedness looks like it has a lot of potential. The combat system with Nyx, companionship, the blaster upgrades, all of that with the VAT system, it's looking like it's going to shape up to be a really good experience.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Nyx is adorable. Kay is a welcome addition to the universe. It's kind of concerning how people have been reacting to our droid friend in the trench coat, but to each their own. Yeah, the gameplay looks fun. Again, there are certain things, maybe even considering the gunplay, but it seems like it's going to be early on. There's going to be a lot of attachments and cool stuff that we're going to be adding to our blaster. And, the sky's the limit on something like this. Now, what I am hoping for, my dream would be that they take this in a GTA direction where we do have a narrative story and a golden path, but they could also give us an online service. We do get to create our own people in that universe and run heists, Star Wars heists together. That'd be amazing. That's my dream.
Before we wrap this video up, I do want to do one last thing to kind of throw a wrench into all of this. Tropes are gonna trope. Is K-Vess going to eventually be force sensitive?
I hope not. I mean, yes, tropes are going to trope, and I hope the trope is that K-Vess ends up joining the rebellion. But whether or not that she ends up being force sensitive, lightly force sensitive, could mean an interesting game mechanic where you get, kind of a near precognition, like a spidey sense, in order to dodge blaster shots and stuff. That'd be cool. But I don't want it.
So I do want to preface this by saying that, like, even though I'm saying tropes are going to trope, there's a part of me that doesn't want it and a part of me that does want it. On the off chance that it does happen, I don't think K-Vess should strive to be a Jedi, strive to be a Sith. I think this story, as a story that we need in this franchise, if it's going to happen, of course, is of a story of someone who's force sensitive and has no aspirations to be a Jedi or a Sith and is having to deal with this either curse or gift. There's not a lot of stories out there of people like that. We have stories of Jedi and Sith. We have stories of smugglers and rebels. We have stories of bounty hunters, but we don't have any stories that of people force sensitive just trying to deal deal with that alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's true. I guess I got a question for you. Now, obviously, we don't need cameos in order to make the game good. However, considering the time and the occupation, there's a lot of people we could run into in this galaxy that would make a lot of narrative sense to the story. So, who are your top 3 people that you'd want Kay to run into in the galaxy?
Top 3. I already had this in the chamber, but top 3 has to be Sana Staros, Afra, and Kira. Now, just like you mentioned, it's in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. We have Crimson Reign up on deck. Kira, most likely to be there, but also within those comics, Afra is there as well with Sana. There's so many bounty hunters and criminal syndicate stories that are happening in this timeline that just intersect. There's so many chances for us to see that. We could see, shout out to Hayden, we could see Baylor Valance, Dirge, just a whole bunch of
floating in space.
I have to yeah. But I do have to shout out to, all right, top 4, Domina Tag. Domina Tag, Afra, Sana, Kira.
Yeah, no, I like that list. It does mirror my own somewhat. Just unsurprising. Definitely would love to see her run in with Afra and maybe do a mission with Afra, and of course be betrayed by Afra because Afra's a terrible person. Definitely Kira, because Kira is an amazing character. Crimson Reign was an awesome comic. Yeah, Space Khaleesi is fine as hell. Baku the Hutt, the weird buff Hutt with he's got abs and pecs. I don't even know how. I just think that'd be really funny inclusion. But definitely Prince Sizor, because we don't. He's only canon in name alone at this point in time, and I think we can give some more love to Shadows of the Empire at this time period. That'd be like a perfect place for him to jump in.
Awesome. Well, if you guys have any suggestions or anything you want to say in terms of what you want to see from this game, how excited are you? Are you going to pick it up day one? Let us know in the comments section below. But that'll do it for our coverage of Star Wars Outlaws, this first impressions, this first gameplay breakdown. If you like the video, please like it and subscribe for more like it, and hit the bell icon to turn on notifications. But that's it. On to the next one.
For Light and for Life,
we are all the Dyad.
And may the Force be with you always.